Hey guys, so I was just talking to a friend about, I don't know, just got talking about UFOs. Can you imagine that? Getting talking about UFOs with me. And I was just sort of telling him, like, how if he wants to see them himself, all he's got to do is sort of go outside in his backyard each evening and meditate on like the image of like a light in the sky. It can be as simple as that, or a UFO or a flying saucer. It can be as simple as just going out each evening into the garden at dusk. Dusk's a great time. They seem to like coming at night at dusk. I think they like the beautiful skies. It's quite nice energy there. They seem to like these balance points as well, like dusk and equinox. They seem to come at dusk around equinox time. I think they like the balance. Seems to be their message. And so yeah, and I was just saying, like, just I was writing in a text, so this is what I would have said, is like just sort of, yeah, I mean, how I started doing it is I would just lie in my bed literally at home and visualize the image. I'll get into a meditative state, so I'd focus on my third eye, this area. I just focus my attention on like the area in the, like there, and but also like right in the center of your brain. There's like a gland called the pineal gland right in the center of your brain, which is connected to what's known as the third eye in Eastern religion. And it's like the third eye, and it's like your psychic gateway, and it's like this is how we connect telepathically, as well as our heart. It's connected to our heart as well, so we can sort of activate our heart energy and want to connect with it to the ETs with love, and also like connect with this psychic gateway where we can receive the downloads and the information. I don't quite understand it. Somehow the heart, it's somehow this heart, somehow the heart speaks telepathically, but also the third eye speaks telepathically. It's not quite sure how it works. But if we can sort of open up our hearts, I mean, that is really key in a way. That is the essence. If we can make the telepathic connection like psychically and begin to visualize like the image, just go out each night into our garden and begin to visualize the image of like an orb, like an orange orb, like manifesting above our skies, or like just sort of out on the horizon, or somewhere coming in within a couple of miles, and with the intent to sort of like they like to come in about, I guess, sort of like a couple of miles away or something, like just sort of not too high up in the sky. They like to come down quite low often, like sort of hide between the trees and like where other people can't see them. And just keep visualizing this and visualize a sentient consciousness coming in, like imagine like seeing an orb, and imagine like the orb just being the sentient consciousness, because it's very different to what we understand it to be. It's like, particularly what I'm beginning to see with Ra, the experience with Ra's ship, is like Ra was literally the ship, because Ra is such a like an evolved consciousness. Ra is like the consciousness of the universe, and so what we actually see in Ra is like a stepped down version of his ultimate consciousness. And so one way I've at least remembered it in meditation as my contact experience with Ra is that the ship was consciousness. Ra was the ship, but Ra was also like this decapitated head, and non-corporeal. I'm not sure what there's a more polite term than decapitated, but incorporeal or something. But this head floating in this tank in the center of this ship, and it was like this was Ra's consciousness, like manifest in the ship. But more commonly in like ET contact experience, you'll get the ETs on the ship, but also the ship is a manifestation of their higher consciousness. The ship is literally a conscious entity. It is conscious and aware, and this is what I experienced in Ra's ship very much so. Like walking through like on the balcony in the ship and like sensing into like the whole ship. It was like being in the womb of the consciousness of the universe, I guess. Like it was like kind of in the Matrix, like there's that room on, you know, where Neo goes into these rooms, and like there's all the screens, and it's like, is it the architect or something? It's like that. Yeah, it was totally like that. It's like Ra is the architect, and like, so I went into this room with all these screens, but it's loads more amazing than that, because it's literally a conscious craft. You're in a room in a conscious craft. You're in a conscious entity, like literally, and there's all these screens around you with all this information on all these different screens, but it's all conscious. It's all Ra's consciousness projecting images in a conscious hologram. But they seem very much like, you know, like TVs in a way. But they obviously weren't TVs, because they were conscious parts of Ra's consciousness within a ship, which was like the architect of the universe. And so in other contact experiences, the ships are like, it's very similar. Like the ships are conscious, and like an example of a Sasani, Bashar civilization, or Yael, a Sasani, they will be in their ship, and they are like quite highly conscious, like entity, highly evolved, like fourth density, like spiritually collected entities, but their ships are almost like higher conscious, because it's their higher self, and they're within their ships. And you can often sense when their shift comes in, when you feel that strong energy, like that electrostatic energy, and like that like denseness and physicality, and like almost like your whole environment has become palpable and part of your own consciousness. That's one, because it is, but two, because it's being amplified by the high consciousness of the extraterrestrial craft, because this is much more how they exist. They know this is their reality. They experience it palpably as their own self. And yeah, so can't quite remember where I was going with all this, but you get the point. And you just sense into this, and just make this all part of your meditation, and just meditate on this, and like go out at dusk and just like meditate on this each evening, and like meditate on oh yeah, that was the point. Like imagine the craft being a conscious craft, like a light appearing in the sky, like an example, like a cyan blue like orb appearing in the sky, and like and like lighting up, and it just sort of hovering on the horizon. Look at it hovering back at you like this, and like knowing that orb is actually conscious, and it might literally be just the actual higher self of the ET we're connecting with, manifesting partially dimensionally manifesting this reality as just a light orb. It's like almost like a probe, but it is the consciousness beginning to manifest of either higher this ship, or the higher ship merged with the being in the entity, but it's not fully manifest. And it's like their consciousness beginning to manifest in this reality, particularly if they're a higher density multidimensional entity, and like coming in, and it's like so just imagine like seeing this orb like moving around, going in your visualization, like knowing it's conscious and it's looking back at you, and it's almost like your own consciousness, because it is your own consciousness, but it's also sentient and aware. And it's like this conscious like probe going and it's actually conscious, and it's looking at you, and it's like and it's being controlled through consciousness. So the way it moves is almost like an eye moving through the sky. So that's the way to do it, guys. Have a wonderful day. Shivai.